Jupiter in Libra is amazing at relationship. It is incredible at bringing people together and creating peace, beauty, and harmony. It is also the diplomat, the one who believes that the more the merrier, 2 minds are better than 1, and the more people are involved, better off it will be for everyone. And they have a way of just inviting people to do what they want them to do. They have a certain charm, a certain knack for pleasing others, where they can do things collaboratively instead of on their own. In this episode of the Cosmic Sky podcast, I'm going to be talking about Jupiter and Libra in the natal birth chart. Now, I'm done with the Jupiter signs. Here's the thing. I recorded a video on my YouTube channel. It was a presentation. It was 10 to 11 minutes long. I don't think it was that good. It wasn't my best, and I've actually never watched it, and I'm going to leave it there. But this is a podcast episode about this topic, as I'm doing all podcasts now. So this is about Jupiter in Libra. I'm doing this today because I want to take a day off doing the videos and doing the podcast. So tomorrow, Sunday, I won't be publishing anything. Because I want to spend that time with family and, doing everything like that and having just a day to rest from all the video making. And then Monday I will get back to doing, hopefully, more podcast episodes for you for the week. So now delving into Jupiter and Libra. The very, very first thing that you need to know about Jupiter and Libra is that they are very, very powerful. They are incredibly powerful individuals. And why are they so powerful? Why are they so good at what they do? Why are they so achieving of all that they're doing? Why do they climb these mountains and do all these things? Well, I'm going to get into it. Allow me to explain. The reason why they are so good at what they do and, so powerful is because of their wide arrangement group of friends. They have a lot of friends. Libra is a sign of relationships, and Libras like to be around their friends. They like to talk and have conversations and get together, and Libra is about living a life in tandem with others. It's the relationship-oriented sign. And the dynamics of healthy relationships and how relationships work. And part of it is understanding your opposite sign Aries to really, really make relationship works. Not independence, not codependence, but co-independence. So that's what I want to say here. Now, growth here with Jupiter in Libra is very, very balanced. It's very, very, balanced out. Where there's a sense of balance here, there's a sense of harmony here. Jupiter in Libra is all about cooperation. It's about people coming together and working together, finding solutions that work for each other, and towards something that they all want. Individuals coming together for a common cause. That you can't do alone. Causes that one person can't do alone. And I'm going to get into that later. So they're all about fairness. Libra is a sign of fairness. They want everything to be just for all. Justice for all. Equality. growth here is through being in tandem with somebody else. Being in tandem, living together, living harmoniously with somebody else. They grow through diplomacy. Diplomacy is when you are being very, very peaceful and harmonious. And, what is diplomacy? It is about relationship building. That should be fairly obvious to understand with that. So, diplomacy. Creating harmony that others like to see. Creating harmony that others approve of. They grow through partnerships with others. They grow through coming together with others in partnership. And when their sense of beauty can be looked at with loving eyes, when others can look at their beauty with love, with care, with consideration, seeing the beauty of all that they have to provide. When people really, really look at that beauty and see the value of that beauty that they still want to put out, they find a lot of peace in that situation. They grow when they can contribute to greater harmony in the world. Like they want to make the world a more harmonious place. They want to add something to the world. They want to make peace between nations. They want to they want to be an ambassador for peace. They're seeking peace. They so desperately want peace. They grow when their success can help others. That's also a huge part of it. They grow when their success can serve others, and when and when they collaborate with others. They're all about cooperative win-win solutions. What is the best solution for me and you? Coming together and forming a solution, and that's a compromise. Taking your identity and another's identity and finding a medium between the middle. You're not, quote-unquote, compromising or giving up that identity. You're just finding a way where those two identities can come together into one cohesive thing to make something, healthy for relationships. That is what compromising is. Does it really have to be like you're giving something up? No. You're meant to be in your identity, but life, a huge part of it is about relating, and we all need connection. And so when you're creating those compromises with others, when you're creating those solutions, it can really, really be very, very healthy when your perspective and others come together and form something beautiful at the other end of it. Now, they may have trouble with making a decision. They may struggle with, because they may look at all the different sides of a situation, seeing all the different perspectives, and they may struggle with deciding what action to take. They may not know which action to take. They may not be clear on which action to take, and then they get into that pool of indecision that holds them back. They're the bridge builders. They bring peace to everyone. They bring peace to, their surroundings. They don't want to build walls. They don't want to build divide and separation and isolation and disharmony. They want to bring people together. They want to have all branches. They want peace. They want connection. And when you have connection, you have peace, and vice versa. But real peace. And that's where the Aries comes in. So that's there's a trap that Libra can get caught in, with that Aries can help get Libra out of it. This is about being with others that share your same values. Being with like-minded people. Libra doesn't have to engage in relationships that are not true for them. They don't have to engage in the wrong relationship that just, hurts them and doesn't serve them. I'm saying to Libras to be with people that, that have your common interests, that have your common feelings and opinions about things. And that's when you'll find a lot of growth and a lot of meaning through those connections. You tend to bring people together. You just bring people together and create beautifully aesthetic environments, creating beautiful environments. And you're able to see all the different sides. Something to be said about people who can not just be one-sided, but being able to look objectively at everybody's side with neutrality and open-mindedness. That is the gift of Libra, and we so need Libra right now because we are so divided and we are so corrupt with war and all the chaos going on around the world. We need Libra energy and Libra individuals to stand up and be activists for peace and beauty and harmony. We need this energy right now in our world. It is so, there's such value in Libra energy. So how can your drive to create harmony and peace serve others? I mean, Libra is already in other oriented signs, so how can you serve others? What can you do, we before me, what can you do to then serve others? How can you help others, add value to their lives? And then you're creating a beauty can be celebrated. All this beauty that you're creating can be honored for what it is. You're the diplomat. You find two people. Let's say you have two people in a room and they are so divided. They do not know how to form a healthy agreement, how to come together, how to find a happy medium, how to find a solution, how to find a bridge between them. And, you come in and you look at one person's side and then another person's side. And you have a way of making people come together. So divided, so against each other, come together and form a beautiful relationship and, finding a middle ground. Jupiter loves friendship and relationship. Those are the two very, 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 very things because Jupiter is a benefic, very, very generous energy. It loves to give. It loves people. It loves the open-minded and open-hearted spirit to learn about them, to be with them, to engage with them, to learn about their experiences, to do things with them. It is a very, very positive energy with Jupiter. Jupiter in Libra really, really, admires, people in general, and preferably, the like-minded people to them, and knowing who they value and who they don't value, not trying to harmonize with everybody, but, choosing who they can harmonize with and being with those people, not expecting to harmonize with everyone because not everybody is going to like who you are. So find the ones that do and just say, no, I'm not going to let my peace be disturbed by those who are not harmonious or don't embody harmonious energy, but they're egoic and selfish and dominating or whatever, stubborn or whatever. So they're not the kind of people to be overly pushy. They won't be overly pushy. They will achieve what they want to do. Yes, that's true. But they don't do it alone. They don't do it alone. They choose their friends very, very selectively, and they're very, very discerning about their friends. They know which friends they want to get, and this is very, very good quality, like being discerning about your friends, like knowing which friends that you want to keep and which friends you just want to say, they're not for me. And they don't serve me, and they're not right for me. So, they don't want to be power over. They don't want to fight and dominate and have all the control. They want to share in the fame and the victory with others. They're very, very socially diplomatic. That's truly who they are, is individuals who have a lot of diplomacy in their wake. So they know the best way to get something done, this is what they believe, the best way is to enlist the help of others, to bring others into their world, to bring others along, to invite them in a way where they are helping them. The best way really is to have others help them and do it with them. They want to do things collaboratively. The most efficient way to get something massive done is for others to do it with them. Like, doing things with others is much better than doing it alone. Like, they don't want to go at this life alone. They honor their friends. And because they have a way of like saying, you're so good at this, can you help me with that? It's kind of like it's kind of like this thing where you have this way of letting people know how much they are valued, acknowledging their gifts and talents. And when you do this, you have a way of getting people on your side. You have a way of getting into their minds and convincing them to help you and to serve you and do all this because you're so kind, you're so diplomatic. You can make, you can sell ice chips to an Eskimo or whatever the phrase is. Like, even the most, I don't know if this is true or not, but even the most resistant person could be, swept along by your, good spirit and acknowledging, what they're good at, and you letting them know that and doing all that. So they won't do it all themselves, but they will not do something all themselves. They're organizing a movement. They'll have people to make the placards. They'll have people to do all this. They won't do it all on their own. They won't carry it all on their shoulders. So they will find people who are willing to help them. Because not everybody's going to be willing to help you. That's just the truth. So finding people that are willing to help them is very, very important with this. And, they invite people in. They invite people in to help them. And, they celebrate their talents. They celebrate what they have to give and bring to the table. So, as I've kind of said, they have a way of just getting people to be on their side and getting them to do things. They can organize movements very, very well in a way that brings people together. They have a way of organizing movements that just everybody comes together with these things. Jupiter and Libra knows how to make others appreciated by, instead of forcing them to do things like you must do this and bossing them around, you invite them in. You invite them in to do all these things very, very effortlessly. You don't have to do, they don't have to do, you don't have to do very much. You don't have to do very, very much at all. It's like you add your piece to the pie, you contribute, you do your part, and everybody else does their part. And you're equal to everybody else. Like, you want to create equality. You don't want one person doing more work than the other people. You don't want one more person being more powerful than any other. You don't want you to be more powerful than any other person. You want it all to be equal. You want everybody to have an equal slice of the pie and contribute equally. That's what you, authentically and truly want. So, you're not the one who does everything, takes on all these burdens and all those things. And you believe that an organization, and just forming a big organization, this is, a truth of life, is, forming a big organization based off of just somebody alone will not work. It will not work. You have to bring people together. Other people have to come together for it to work. Like, people have to come together for the whole thing to, work out and be a success. So, you can't expect to be the only person doing it and you doing it, and everybody else is like not doing anything. Like everybody has to contribute to make it a success, make it a reality. You know how to stimulate people to take action. You know how to convince them to stand up. And like the passive individuals, the ones who are not willing to do the work or stand up, the ones kind of over on the sidelines. Like you include the outsider, you include the outcast, you include the people on the sidelines, and bring them together to make something for the greater good, and to make something happen. For it to happen, you just harmoniously bring people together. What can I say? So power is understood, and you know that others will be affected by that power. And like, you have power. What are you going to do with it? You have power. How are you going to use it? That's up to you. And Libra wants to make sure that they are using their power wisely and for the greatest good of all. They want to make sure that they are using their power well and kindly and harmoniously. So with great power comes great responsibility. That's what we can find very, very easily with Jupiter in Libra, and it's a very, very common quote. Jupiter in Libra believes that power should be, is the desire to help and serve the collective. Power is that desire to want to help others. Not just personal power and, gaining it for your own gain and your egoic, almighty, dominating, power over conquering type thing. We all desire to belong. We all have a desire to belong, and Libra, Jupiter and Libra honors that. It can, make a decision. It's very, very important to also look at, your diplomatic nature, okay, and how it holds you back from personal integrity. How this holds you back from personal gifts, personal, usage onto others. So how can your diplomatic nature, it's like you are just like everybody else. And as everybody else, everybody has their opinions, and everybody has their beliefs, and everybody has their values and things to say, and all these thoughts, and all these opinions, and all these ideas. And it is about speaking to all these things, and contributing. Like, hey, I want to build the bridge to Hampton and make the bridge a brick building for the top skyscraper, and I want the bridge to be 10 inches wide, 2 feet deep. When you have a way of, it's very, very important to add your own personal integrity into it. To be true to your integrity, to be true to yourself, very, very important. And that's very, very important to know your values. Eris can really, really teach you, like, know who you are, know what you want, what you desire, and all these things, and be true to that. Like Eris says very, very strongly in Libra, hey, be true to yourself. So, know your values. Free and liberated from anybody else's opinions of you. Don't be so attached to others' opinions. Don't let others' opinions get the better of you and what you want to do and what you want to say and contribute. Don't just go along with the herd with others' opinions. Ask yourself, like, does this feel right? Do I agree with it? Do I support this? Am I is my soul in alignment with this? You can ask yourself these kind of questions with this very, very strongly. Jupiter in Libra really, really believes that two people are much better than one alone. Two minds are much better than one. You can achieve so much more than just two people, powerful forces coming together. Imagine what two people can do with their both minds combined and creating something together, as opposed to one person doing it alone. When they come together, they form, a mental connection, an intellectual bond, a sterling of meanings, a P on the pasta. Where they, the two people come together and form something better than what one can do alone. They like to be together. They don't like to dominate power. They like to distribute power. And they truly believe that a lot of people doing something, imagine a lot of people doing one thing. A lot of people coming together and making something happen is so much stronger than one person doing it alone. So a whole team of people, a whole group of people, a whole clan of people can come together and make something happen. And it's so much bigger and better than one person doing it on their own. Imagine the possibilities of a lot of people coming together and making something happen collaborative. It sees the value of collaborative power when people come together. It doesn't care for individual power so much as collective people when people are working together. It really admires that, and it has an appreciation and an honoring and respect for that. And it wants to create that because that is what it believes. That is the flavor of Jupiter and Libra. So that is all that I have to say on this very, very short, incredibly short podcast episode on Jupiter and Libra. This is the shortest episode I've ever done, besides the update videos. That is literally all I have on Jupiter in Libra. I hope that you found this interesting and meaningful for you. And if you do, then tune in for the next episode. I want to do the next episode on Jupiter in the sign of Leo in the natal birth chart, and what that means if Jupiter is placed in Leo, and the whole thing about the art of living big and really generosity and creativity and shining your light and having a lot of power when it comes to that. So I want to do a podcast episode on that to follow up the live stream I did on my YouTube channel for that, which cut off at the beginning. So, I had no intention of doing that again. I want to honor how I felt at the time. But since I do all podcast episodes now, then that's what I want to do. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. And bye for now. I'll see you on the next episode of this podcast.